Oh no. Hello and welcome to Wheel Watches. This is Minari. So carrying on with our kind of Oscar season series, we have Minari. I know a little bit about it. There was some controversy earlier in the year at, I think it was the BAFTAs, because it was nominated for Best Foreign Language Film and not Best Film. And it's like half the movies in Korean, half the movies in English. So there's a bit of controversy there. I mean, and then for the Oscars, it has been nominated for Best Picture, because I know it's kind of the story of a family moving from Korea to America. I don't know if the production was Korean or if it was American. I don't see how being nominated for Best Foreign Language Film would exclude you from being nominated for Best Film anyway. You know, Parasite won last year. I do think they won't give the Oscar to this one this year, because I don't see the Academy wanting to give it to a Korean film 2 years in a row. Just kind of politically, I don't see them doing that. I feel like they think they'd get backlash for that or something, because there were some people angry that Parasite won last year, which it should have. I agree that it should have won, but there were people who were angry at it because it was a foreign film, and then those people are going to be even madder this year if it wins again, if a Korean film wins again. But, you know, I don't see a problem there. If it's the best film, it's the best film, you know? So it seems like there's kind of 4 front runners on what Best Picture is going to be: Sound of Metal, this, Judas and the Black Messiah, and Nomadland. So the Oscars are next week. The only one of them that I can't see before the Oscars happen is Nomadland, because it releases in May here in the UK on Disney+. So I've seen Sound of Metal. I'm going to watch this now, and then I'm going to watch Judas and the Black Messiah soon, and see if I can get to see it before the Oscars happen, and then I can create an informed opinion on who I think should have won. And then some of the other nominations, like Mank and Promising Young Woman, I'll get to after the Oscars. If you're interested, check out the Patreon. Over there you'll find early access to upcoming movies 1 week ahead. You'll find full-length timer-based reactions and access to polls where you can vote on films and TV shows coming up next. I think that's all I have to say. Let's just jump into it. Minari. So, is Minari the name of one of the kids? Or... this is actually the first thing I've seen with Steven Yeun in. I don't think I've seen him in anything else. So they're saying in more of a mobile home, or a trailer, whatever you want to call it.
여기 대체 어디야?
우리 집이지?
David, look!
데이빗, 뛰지 마.
Look at that! Look!
우와!
Need to get some stairs.
이야!
점점 더 심해진다.
I mean, they're in a lovely place out in the countryside. The surroundings are really nice. So are they going to be like farming?
흑색깔 때문에.
미국에서 가장 기름진 땅이야.
David have some sort of medical... Oh, when does this take place? That's a very old TV.
오래 안 있어.
Is the heart murmur getting louder?
Does Korea have socialized medicine? Because if you had a child with
기도하는 거 잊지 마.
medical issues, I wouldn't go to America. And it's kind of clear that they're not financially super well off, so moving to America doesn't seem like a great idea.
캘리포니아에서 돈 좀 많이 벌었겠는데? 그렇긴 한데요.
So they were in California.
거기서 일할 만큼
The pay here can't be great.
What can I do?
누나한테 가 있어.
데이비드 뛰지 마.
So he can't run because of his heart problems.
건 살 수 있잖아.
취미로 하는 거면 5에이커로 충분하겠지. 내 꿈은
He wants an actual farm.
까지는 1시간이나 걸리잖아.
Let's give them Mountain Dew. No.
그만 쳐다보고.
If they have insurance, they might be able to claim something from it if it does.
거긴 뭘 봐.
뉴스에서 토네이도 경로로 보여주잖아. 야.
Write it big. Okay?
그럼 물이 많은 데가 어디야?
There.
Why?
Because trees like water.
Yeah. Renovating everything a bit.
엄마, 이제부터 쓰레기를
And then they have to pay to get rid of it.
시간 남지?
I knew we were gonna be friends. Big things. We got big things for this family.
오케이.
They do a really great job of building the atmosphere.
다들 한국 음식이 그립겠지?
네.
Mm.
그럼 우리 같은 한국
But the
국민은
Koreans going to be moving to that part of the country.
잘 되겠지?
I'll probably diversify and do some standard crops and some Korean.
저? 할머니도 우리뿐이고. 근데 할머니 같이 살면 안 돼? 옳지. 하나, 둘, 치즈.
That camera.
드디어 오셨나 봐.
내가 그렇게 보고 싶었니? 아니, 나도 네가 그렇게 보고 싶었지. 야, 또 울어? 멸치 때문에 울어?
It's the sense of home, isn't it?
No. Get that away from me in the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus, get that away. Choo.
You crazy, man.
This is from the well that he dug.
Free water.
There's a Korea smell. You've never even been to Korea. Grandma smells like Korea.
데이빗.
He's not dealing with the change well. Oh, it's a share room with her. Surely you'd have a share with the daughter.
뭐야?
산에서 온 이슬물이에요. 몸에 좋다고.
쌌지? 야, 아빠가 비켜라 이놈아. 봐라. 자, 아이고, 지랄.
She can gamble, that's it.
그렇지.
You know she can't even read. She isn't like a real grandma.
It's not your stereotypical grandma.
그래서 할머니가 한국서 미나리 씨 갖고 왔다.
That's a type of plant.
교회를 갈까 해서.
You give the kids a chance to make friends as well. But then there's always the possibility of racism.
What a beautiful family. We're glad you're here. Okay, you can be seated. Thank you.
There's that kid staring at him. It's probably the first time he's seen an Asian boy.
How long you been in town? Where you been hiding?
I'm sorry, my English not so good.
Oh, it's okay. We'll teach you English.
Why is your face so flat? It isn't. My name is Johnny. What's yours? David. Nice to meet you, David.
브로큰 딩동. 딩동 브로큰.
Going in the bowl. What is he doing? Oh, he can't run though. He needs to stop to calm down.
괜찮아, 괜찮아. 아유, 이제 다신 안 그러면 되지 뭐, 그지? 이제 나도 할머니 노릇 제대로 할게.
He just wants like the stereotypical bakes cookies and cooks food. In the smaller one. All of these montages are really great. Just tomatoes and chilies, is that really so Korean? Maybe back in the day. There's eggplants, tomatoes and chilies. This is her Minari.
Yeah, it's pretty much dry over.
Not getting enough water out.
돈이 너무 많이 나가. 나 심각해.
괜찮을 거야.
Because when you're growing food like that, you get all your money through at once.
내가 책임질게.
You know when the harvest is. Or is that the water going to his house, so it's just going to increase his water bill?
Good job. Good job.
Okay, that's enough.
See if he can actually sell it now. Cut off the water. Oh, hospital's an hour away as well.
교회 버스 왔어요.
데이비드 놔두고 너 먼저 가.
This just gets better and better.
아이고, 스트롱 보이. 스트롱 보이.
Are the kids going to school?
왜? 이런 소리 처음 들어봤어? 데이비사, 너는 스트롱 보이야.
할머니,
어?
피피는 무슨 맛이에요?
빵알놈이. 우리 할머니하고 저 나무 있는 데까지 둘이 같이 뛰어볼까? 괜찮아.
It kind of takes away from his childhood because he can't run around and play.
천천히. 미나리. 원더풀.
And Grandma is the only one who actually lets him be a kid.
All right, boys. Breakfast is right here. There you go.
How's your daddy like that new farm?
Good.
He growing things good, doing things right?
Yes.
That's good.
It's great, the atmosphere. And the water's back on. Kind of brown, but clear up. Yeah. She's just dementia or something.
일로 와.
But that was what she was saying to David. So if if she has like dementia or something, it's like she remembers her time with David. She appreciates it, which is nice.
푹 쉬셔야 된대.
And a stroke.
Cast you out. Cast you out.
He seems strange at first, but he seems pure of heart.
Yes, prayer. Come down. Jesus, no more.
They can't leave her here alone.
괜찮아, 안 도와줘도 돼. TV 보면서 쉬어. 우리 좀 늦어요.
They won't say no.
Okay. Okay.
He's so stressed out.
It's a very exciting moment. It's a very important moment. Jacob, just...
And you know, over aircon, look what they look. At least open the windows.
우리 데뷔 때문에 여기 온 거야.
알았어. 먼저 들어가.
Oh, so he's taking the vegetables with him to try and sell them while they're in town for David.
지영 아빠. 같이 가면 안 돼? 나 당신 없인 안 돼.
싶은 사람은 당신이야.
What?
It's still there, but in comparing measurements, it's a significant improvement.
He's getting
This
better.
means we can rule out surgery. This is very good news. Whatever it is you're doing, don't change a thing.
Don't change a thing. Going to California might not be a good idea. What's Grandma out here doing? She's not just burning all of them, is she? That's their whole crop if she...
그러니까 당신 말은 우리는 서로를 구해주진 못하지만 돈은 할 수 있다. 지금은 괜찮지만 앞으로 내가 그렇게 살 자신이 없어. 우리가 어떻게 될지 불보듯 뻔한데 당신만 바라보면서 버티기엔
What is she doing? Is that the whole thing gone? Oh no.
잔내 같은데?
Is the grandma okay? No, just leave. Can they sell the Minari that the grandma was growing? That's why the film's called Minari. Oh, they need to get out. The smoke is just gonna kill them. Inhaling that much smoke. The music. Don't run too much. Sleeping on the floor together. And they said they were their first night. Now helping him find water. The Minari's there, is it? You can harvest it and it spreads on its own. Wow. Brad Pitt. Okay. Okay, so that was Minari. Wow. I think that's my front runner so far out of what I've seen. Just all of the performances were really great. Even the child actors, they did really well. And then just kind of the atmosphere through the cinematography and the music that it builds, it just immerses you in just so well. Yeah, I think that's my front runner. I do still think that the Oscars might be hesitant to give this movie Best Picture just because of the perception. You know, I know it's not a Korean film, it's produced in America, but a lot of the film is in Korean, and then it's kind of perceived as a Korean film to the general audience who might not know as much. So I feel like they might be hesitant to have it be 2 in a row Korean films. But I don't think that's what they should do. I think they should just give it to the best film each year. Who cares about, the politics of it? I think what made this so great for me was kind of the atmosphere and the downtime. There's a few times throughout the movie where it just takes the time to slow down. And we had that shot of Jacob just smoking in the field and the music just playing over it. Yeah, it just lets you immerse yourself into the world that they're building. And I think with kind of this sort of movie where it's not super plot heavy, there's always this kind of feeling of dread. Monica, the wife, at one point she said she was just waiting for something to go wrong, and she was talking about that in the context of the relationship. But that's kind of how you feel about the movie. It sets up these things, and you don't know what area something could go wrong. The grandma could die, or David could. They set it up with his heart issues, and then there's also with the issues with the crops. So it's kind of like they set up these things, and you're not really sure what's going to happen. There has to be something somewhere to cause conflict, because it's a movie. There needs to be conflict and things for it to tell a story well. This does a really good job of portraying poverty and in this area of America. In the movie, they even call it hillbilly country, and they're like, you see Monica, she doesn't really want to be there. But I think it treats everything with respect. Even Paul, who at the start, he's kind of this caricature, crazy old man, but he was kind at heart. And the movie wasn't all doom and gloom. There were some really funny moments. I mean, especially with David and the grandma. They're kind of the heart of this movie. Their relationship, seeing them kind of the resentment from David at first until he finally kind of grows to be a friend with her. It was really nice. And it was hard to see her kind of deteriorate by the end, but that's just life, isn't it? Old age. You're waiting for something to go wrong, but even when it finally happens, it's still so heartbreaking seeing all of that work that he had put in go to waste. We were all being burnt up. They didn't really give us many concrete answers in the end, if they had insurance, or if he started to harvest the Minari, but we never saw if he was making profit from that. It's kind of open-ended in that way, but I don't think they need to tell us all of these things. We can infer them as the audience. I think an aspect of it I really liked as well is they're in this hillbilly country and they're an Asian family, and you'd expect at some point there'd be some subplot about racism or anything, but it seems like everyone was actually quite accepting of them. There was ignorance, but there wasn't explicit hatred. There was the boy who asked why his face was flat, but that's probably the first time he's ever met an Asian person. So, and their kids, so kind of you can forgive the ignorance of it. Not every movie that has or revolves around actors of colour has to be about racism, so it's nice to see it's just like a coming of age story, but they just so happen to be Asian. But their Asianness still plays a part in who they are as characters. Yeah, I really liked David and the grandma. You know, it seemed like David was expecting your stereotypical grandma baking cookies, making food, being all lovey-dovey, but that wasn't who she is. But by the end, he learned to respect her and befriended her, really. And I think by the end, all of this tension had built up and built up, and yeah, something had to go wrong. And when the barn went up in flames, it all came flooding out, you know. But it did seem like, because the parents were always away, Anne and David, they had to grow up a lot quicker than they normally would. And, you know, that happens quite a lot when things go wrong in families. You know, and she was out getting water from the creek and doing all of these things that really the mother should be doing, but she can't because she needs to be at her job supporting the family. And it seemed like just as we were getting some resolution, you know, David's heart was getting better, and then we finally had a deal selling some of these crops. That's when everything goes wrong. It was just kind of a kick in the gut, you know. So just apologies in advance if I get any of the pronunciations of the names wrong, but Han Yi-ri, she did a really good job as Monica. You know, a lot of subtle acting, but you can feel it, even though it's in a foreign language. It doesn't take away from the emotion of the scenes. You can still connect to them as characters. Steven Yeun, this is the first film I've actually seen him in. I know he's in The Walking Dead, but I haven't seen that, so this is my first exposure to him, and he was great. You know, his character was kind of your stoic dad, very manly, and he didn't like asking for help, and he was very stubborn. He wanted to do things his own ways, and kind of to a fault, really. You know, we saw he didn't want help with finding the water, and then he did find water, but it didn't last forever, and then that caused further problems down the line. It probably would have been cheaper to just buy the water, to hire that guy to find the water for him, than have it run out and then him having to pump it from his house. But, you know, all of the characters, they felt very real. All of their motivations and all of their decisions made a lot of sense. You know, deciding to go to the church because everyone was feeling kind of isolated and getting annoyed at each other, that made a lot of sense. All of the decisions they all made sense. Young Jun as the grandmother, she was really great. She was this kind of cheeky character, not what you'd expect. And it was kind of heartbreaking seeing how she deteriorated through the movie. And then there was Paul, who started off kind of as a caricature of, you know, redneck hillbilly America, very into religion and Jesus. And there's this strange thing of him carrying the cross on his back as his ritual for Sunday. But you could see he was kind of suspicious at first, but the more we saw of him, the more you could kind of trust him. And he was, you know, he was innocent at heart. And he was just kind of genuinely trying to be a friend and be helpful to Jacob. So this was directed by Lee Isaac Chung, and this is the first thing I've seen of him. I'm not sure what else he did, but I feel like it was really well done. It was just, it had this really, really nice dreamlike quality. It was really beautiful and intimate. I think that's the best way to kind of describe this film. And it steps away from the, you know, there's the very stereotypical, the family moves across the country and then they're resentful of their father for moving. And there's a bit of that in there, but it's not like the whole thing. Yeah. I think that's all I have to say on this. This is my pick so far for Best Picture. We'll have to see these other films and see if they can hold up to this. But so far, this is my pick. So yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like or a comment if you enjoyed this, or subscribe for more. Yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.